Hey peeps. Okay, so this is going to be a hopefully quick tutorial on how to make a custom model for our, for instance, in this case, it's going to be for our hunter, and it's going to load it in, and it's not going to overwrite the default one, so we don't have those consistency problems. All right, so really quick, what we'll do, we're going to create a info target here. So, info target, can't type. And all we need to do in here is set a name. Whoops, man, I can't type for my fingers are locking up. Okay, so controller, info target, good. That's all we need for that. Next, go here and a logic auto. Apply. We're going to do on map spawn. So this is going to be every time that we load in our map. Let's see, target entity's name, controller, apply, be this input, run script, that's not what I was trying to do, file, there we go. Okay, run script file, now we need to get a file here, so inside of our vscripts directory here, so L4D2 scripts vscripts, this is going to be where it's at, so we could just call this, just like for instance boop.nut, and we could access it, but I like to put it in a subdirectory, especially when you're working with maps. So we could call this navmesh underscore test1. So that's the name of my map here, navmesh underscore test1. And I'm just going to go ahead and do controller.nut. And it doesn't matter what you call these. The .nut, that's what tells it's a file, so you need that part. But like the other names here, just got to remember what they are. And if you don't see the .txt, you may need to hit Alt, go to Tools, Folder Options, View, and then hide extension from file types. Make sure that's unchecked. Click Apply, and then you should be able to see the extensions. All right, so let's see. We need to put our file in here. So with L4D2, it's kind of picky. So we don't want to put the / here at the beginning because it doesn't like it. What do we call it? Controller? Yeah, controller. So controller.nut. All right, that should access that. Now we can go into our little file here. I'm going to type in println boop. Whoops. Save that. And then I'm going to do a quick run here. Okay, so inside we should see our boop, and there it is right there. So this is going to run it every time we restart. So if I do a fire player set health 0. Once again, you can see boop. All right, so that will run every time we do a new round. That's what we want. Now we're going to go into our code and we're going to see exactly what we want. I'm going to leave this boop here so we make sure that it's running. Let's see. Okay, so the script is going to detect the player spawn. It's going to check to see if it's a hunter, and if it is, we're going to change it to our custom model. All right. Excuse me. Okay, so first things first, we need to set up our event, and this is the Valve wiki. It has a whole bunch of different functions and stuff we can use. I'm going to use the on game event. So this here, this on game event underscore. After this underscore where this X is, we can put the game event, and it will link to it, and we can use it to detect events that fire inside of our map. So in a mutation, all you would need is this, and then put the name of it. It will automatically link it. But since we are not using mutations, we need to create our own. So we're going to use this thing here. I'm just going to go ahead and copy it. And it's important, this needs to be at the end of the script, or at least it has to come after all of our game events. So this means that we're going to get this specific scope that we're using here. On game event underscore, this is the prefix it will use. Just leave that as default. That's all fine, and that's all fine. We don't need to explain any of that. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and use this part here. Let's copy this. Paste this in. This is going to be a function. And we don't need to put the table. The table is the just the type. It shows us like what type it is for the argument. So we need the name of the game event, and I'm going to go into our generic source events. This is on the allied mods. Let's see, right here, player spawn. So we'll grab our little player spawn here, go in here and paste that in. And then I'm going to put a print line boop has spawned. Smiley face. Okay. So you'll notice when you go into this, or at least we should notice, that it does not print anything when we go in here. Like, it will print the regular boop, but it won't print the boop we've spawned, even though we have 4 player spawns. Let me check to make sure that that's accurate. Yep, you can see that it only printed the boop. Well, the reason for that is that this script that we're running, it's running after these players are created. So we have to account for that in some cases by looping through our entities and changing them if they meet the the requirements. We won't do that right now, though. What we will do is let's spawn a hunter. Let's spawn him way over there. So z spawn hunter, and you can see boop I has spawned, smiley face. All right, so now the game can detect when the event fires. So now, well, let's see, what can we use inside this player spawn? It's not really useful just to know that the events happen. We have to have a little information, and in these events, we have little structures that we can use. In this case, we have a user ID, and the user ID is really helpful because that can tell us the player user ID that fired this event. So we can know which user ID tripped this event. We can check that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And then I'm just going to call this local player is equal to, let's see, params dot, what is it? User ID. And the thing about this is the user ID can't be translated as an int specifically, because it is, like, if we go into here, you can see this right here. This is the user ID. But the thing is these will not be linked to our int ID, which is what we want. So in here, get player from user ID. I'm going to go ahead and put this inside of here. And this is going to get the user ID, and then it's going to get a player from that user ID. So now we have our player. I'm going to do if player is not equal to null. So this is basically going to check that we didn't get an invalid user ID. And then once we're in here, I'm going to let's see. I'm just going to run it search for Hunter because that'll take me where I want to go. Here it is. Okay, so this is a method that's on top of our player entity class in the game. So we can take this and I can do, whoops, what am I doing? I can do player dot and then get zombie type. And so this player is a entity type for our player. So we can use this this method inside of it, and this is going to return the zombie type. Now in here you can see there's different types here. So there's the smoker, the boomer, the hunter. The hunter is 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a equal to 3. So here we're creating the the player entity variable to get it from the user ID. We're checking to make sure that it's valid, and then we're going to check to see if it's a hunter. And if it's a hunter, we can go in here. I'm going to put print line boop is the hunters. Okay. Go ahead and save this. I'm going to go ahead and reset it. Alright, now we'll go ahead and do our ZSpawn Hunter, and you can see boop has spawned, boop is the hunters. Okay, and now you can see if I spawn for instance, a smoker, it says boop I has spawned, but you don't see I is the hunters. So, go away, hunter. Okay, so we have our code that can detect that we have a hunter. Now we need to change the type, but before we do that, you know what, actually I am going to show what happens when you don't do that first. Yeah, I am. Okay, so this is actually going to crash the game. So I'm going to do player dot, and then we need a command to set the model name. So I'm going to search for set model, and you can see here you got to make sure it's under the right type, obviously. So C-base entity. C-base entity will work on players because players are built off of that. We'll go ahead and take that. And so player.setModel, we need to put our model in here. And I don't know what it is called actually. I actually just took this off the workshop, just took a random one and changed the QC file. So I could use it for this. Alright, so world model, hunter, okay, so it's just hunter custom 1. Okay. Yes, I'll just copy this. Okay, so what is this going to do? Well, we already know what that's going to do. We're going to make sure it's a hunter, and then we get to this point, and we're actually going to set the model of the player that has spawned, because that's what we're getting here. And we're going to set its model to this. All right. Now, very important, something you have to do, and you're about to see that when I do this. is you have to pre-cache your model into the map. So, when I do this, you see I can spawn a smoker fine, but when I try and spawn a hunter, you'll see we get the util set model not pre-cached. So basically, it sets like a index for our model. So like it doesn't use this actual name. It actually uses like a reference index. So if we don't have it loaded in, there's no reference index, and the game's just, rather than pre-cache it in, you know, and use it, it's just like, you know what, you messed up, guy. I'm just gonna shut down. So we need to account for that. We can do that very easily. I'm just going to go search for pre-cache here. Find the right one. Pre-cache entity from table. They actually added some new vscripts functions. We'll use those instead. I haven't used these this way, but they should work, hopefully. Okay. So we already know that this boop command runs. So we basically run all of this stuff in the order it comes. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this here. Make sure you set up your structure properly. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. So I already put the double quotes. Whoops. What did I just do? Oh. Okay. So we're going to check if model is pre-cached. We're going to invert it with the inverter, which is the exclamation point. So basically this says, is the model pre-cached? And then this is going to invert whatever this was. So if this was true, it'll be false. So we're essentially saying if the model is not pre-cached, then we're going to find this command, which I hope works. I've never used it before. I did pre-caching before they had this function, so I did it a different way. So we'll see. Okay, so this is going to check if it's not pre-cached, and if it's not pre-cached, then we'll pre-cache the model. All right, and we could actually make this pretty instead of having it out here. No, let's just leave it there for now. All right. Okay, save that. And I'm going to get rid of this. Go and reload it here. Okay, we're back in. And you can see this time it actually did print the boop has spawned, but we want to make sure it's consistent, on the reloads here. So we want to set up a different thing. Because you'll see when we do this, I gotta wait for it to go so it doesn't freeze. There we go. This time it just says boop, so it doesn't say the boop I has spawned. So we want to add an extra check for that later. But first, we're gonna go ahead and go in here, and we're gonna go ahead and do zspawn hunter.
We got a hunter.
Oh. Okay, I did not expect that. I messed up the I messed up the QC or something there because it's like
Reload.
glitchy and disappearing. I looked at that and I was like, no, wait a minute, where's it at? And then it just appeared. Okay. So you can see now we have our custom model. And okay,
Reloading.
I made the director happy here. Okay. So now what do we need to do? Well, we can check to see when we first load this if the others are meeting the condition. So let's go to our entity find functions here. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we have the different find types here. We can find by class name nearest. So I'm just going to do a find by class name. I'm actually going to put it in its own function. We'll call it change already spawned hunters. Kind of a long name, but oh well. Okay, so we're going to take this, and this is going to be a iteration here. I'm going to start at actually, let's do this. Yeah, let's just do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to do player is equal to null. I'm going to do I believe we can do it this way. I'm trying to remember. There was a problem with like next bots, so I usually did it a different way. I don't know if they ever fixed that or not. So what I'm going to do is this is going to check if this is equal to null, and at the same time this is going to take the value of this right here. So this is a conditional statement, and this is a statement that tells it we want to put the value of find by class name into player, and we're going to put if, let's see, player actually let's not do it that way. Let's just do a simple check to make sure it works, make sure we can check our code. So I'm just going to put debug, and then I'm just going to put plus player. I'll put this at the end because we want to create this before we try and use it. Save. Go back in here. Okay, air running script. What did I do? Oh, that's what I did. Whoops. Okay, this is something you'll run into a lot. The find by class name, it's not a function. It's actually a method inside of this entity class. So I need to put a entities dot find by class name. Save. Okay, going to reload this here. Entity does not exist. Did I not put local? I'm making all kinds of mistakes here. Oh, no, I actually, that's right. That's what I did. Okay, so the same thing as this. I was originally going to call it entity, then I decided to call it player. And you can see that this was set to entity and this was set to player, so that didn't work. So what this is going to do, we're going to take this as player null. So when we start at null, we're going to start at the very first one. So this will start out at null. Find the first player. We'll go in here and then we're going to do this, and then we'll loop back around, and it will start at this current player we have, and it'll find the next one after that one. It'll go back into here and here, and keep going around. So we should print this 4 times for our debug player. And we did not. Why did we not? What did I mess up here? I messed something up here. Okay, I'm not sure why that's not working. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Maybe I have to close this. I don't normally do it this way. I'm just trying to do the easy way. And the easy way isn't as easy as it would first appear. Okay. Oh. Oh, I get what I did. Not equal to null. Oh, I need sleep. More than 2 hours of sleep. That'd be nice. Okay. Okay, there you go. Now you can see it works. So we checked the different players, and this will allow us to quickly change it if there are already spawned hunters at the beginning. I don't know if Versus does that or not. And this also isn't going to change the first person model for them. So I don't know if you'd want to do that anyway, but just consistency. Okay, so this same code here, rather than do it twice, we could put a new function here. Change hunter skin for player. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Put this in here. And then I'll go ahead and take this. And I'll put this right here. Okay. So now I can take this and put this in here. Save this. Whoops. Reload this one more time. Okay, and you see it didn't print anything in here because we're not a hunter, which is fine. We'll go ahead and spawn our hunter.
Hunter. Reloading.
I must have messed something up on the QC file because it looks like a thin little line. Unless if it's broken on the workshop, I don't know. But yeah, peeps, that is how we can load our custom model without overriding the actual hunter. And I believe that's all that needs to be explained here. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, peeps, we're going to call that